Okay, so Thomas Markle, Meghan Markle's father, remains trapped on the 19th floor of a stricken high-rise building in the Philippines after this devastating earthquake, which has killed well over 30. Now, you'll know that we broke the news here on Outspoken yesterday. Samantha Markle, Thomas's daughter, Meghan's half-sister, made a very emotional plea to her sister. She blames her sister for this too. Today, we're hearing directly from Thomas, from the earthquake site. He confirms that his sister, who let's just remember is about to be awarded the gong, and let's be honest, it's a made-up gong, isn't it, for Humanitarian of the Year, has not been in touch, has done nothing, even though her father remains trapped in this building. So as Meghan's mole put it, will Meghan Markle fly to the Philippines in a private jet to help save Thomas Markle Sr., or does she only show up to school massacres for photo ops? Sadly, we know the answer to that. So this was the very emotional reaction here on Outspoken from Samantha yesterday.
Yes, I was very emotional. And I do feel, in my opinion, that my sister is responsible for this. The PR media attacks that made him reclusive, that made him decline physically and health-wise because of the stress and not getting out enough because he was having to hide from media. Her treatment of him, the heartbreak, the disregard, the nasty fake news articles that were not true, insulting him, and to disregard him, to bring on that stress, to force him to be reclusive, to force him to want to be in another country to hide from media, which is why he ended up in the Philippines in the first place. Never once, neither Harry nor Meghan, never once checking to see if he's okay, making sure that he was in the best of care through not one heart attack, but two, and a stroke at 82 and being unable to walk. He would not be there if it wasn't for her treatment of him. I guarantee it.
And just remember, Thomas Markle remains trapped in the 19th floor of that building. The lifts remain out, so he cannot get out. And at this point, still nothing from Meghan Markle, still nothing whatsoever. Samantha posted on this, my father is stuck on the 19th floor of a building in the Philippines after a massive earthquake and he can't walk and he is trapped. Shame on my disgusting, evil fucking sister forever putting our father in this position. I hope she is cursed. Karmic vengeance will be mine. Shame on Harry and Meghan. May they be damned. He gave her everything and this is how she repays him. Why don't Harry and Meghan spend some money and get their fucking asses in a helicopter and go save my dad? Gloves off, bitch. Now, Samantha was obviously very emotional, and I completely understand why she feels this way. And Thomas Markle Jr. is now in the building alongside Thomas Markle Sr. and a friend. He says they can't leave, but do feel safe. Watch.
The dust has settled, but not for Thomas Markle. He's still on the 19th floor of a quake-hit high-rise in the Philippines. Elevators dead, aftershocks a risk, mobility limited after a stroke. Family members say they spent the night waiting for a plan that never came and for a call that never rang.
Thanks for tuning in. It's a sad day in the Philippines. Yesterday, last night. First thing I want to say is Godspeed to, I think that there's already been 30 plus lives lost and many, many other people hurt. And it's horrible because, earthquakes come unexpectedly. You don't know when they're going to come. They just happen. And luckily, this building here held up very, very well. It's newer construction. So, but on the 19th floor, a little sketchy. All of a sudden, you're just going back and forth and back and forth. So, I've been in a few good earthquakes before in my life, and I was impressed that this building is designed.
And I have been in touch with Samantha over the past couple of hours. She does feel like things might be improving there and she's feeling a little bit better, but still incredibly concerned. P. Diner, royal YouTube sensation, with me now. P. Diner, look, we're going to come to all of Thomas Markle Jr.'s new revelations about Meghan in just one moment. But first, obviously, this is such a worrying situation. And can you understand why Samantha just feels so angry and so frustrated? Because she's like, my dad wouldn't be in this position in the first place if it wasn't for you, Meghan Markle. You're now meant to be a woman with endless means for humanitarian pursuits. You're actually picking up this Humanitarian of the Year award, laughably, yet you're doing nothing. You're doing absolutely nothing to help him.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it is so tragic that we have to see Mr. Markle in this position and in real time see Meghan out there getting an award and trying to improve her profile on the back of her father, who is suffering, who is in a position that he's been compromised. And I believe exactly what Samantha is saying, that I believe it is Meghan's fault, because Mr. Markle has been pushed out to be in this position because of Meghan. It is unbelievable that she continues to ignore the obvious. And at the same time, I believe this is a big reason why Meghan will never find success, because, as she may want to ignore it, the rest of the world is not ignoring the obvious. We see what is happening. We see how she treats her father. And so while she may ignore it as if it is something that she thinks will just go away, we won't ignore it. And so the people who give or who can put her in a position to actually make money, succeed at whatever it is that she's trying to do, they will never buy into Meghan and what she is trying to accomplish, because on the back end of all of this, we see what she is doing. We live in a different era. Social media has exposed Meghan Markle, and the more she ignores it, the more she reveals, who she is. And you just can't ignore something like this. It doesn't go away. You look ridiculous, Meghan. You think we don't see it? We see how you treat your father. You are a despicable human being to ignore this. So superficial. You will never find success ever because of this behavior right now. You need to get off of your high horse. You need to humble yourself, and you need to go make amends and check in on your father, because this is what happens to people that are bad actors. They get what is coming to them because of their behavior. And Meghan is getting everything that she deserves because of her nasty, uncaring, ungrateful attitude towards the people that have loved her, that took care of her. It is despicable that she is behaving like this. But she's getting it all back.
It really is. I mean, Thomas Markle, 81 years old. 81 years old. Still recovering from a debilitating, life-threatening stroke. And can I just remind everyone, Thomas Markle, during Meghan's formative years, almost single-handedly raised this woman. According to Thomas Markle Jr., $700,000 was spent by Thomas Markle on her education, on putting her into the best opportunity possible, on getting her the parts. This is an Emmy Award-winning sound engineer who worked very, very hard for his daughter when Doria was God knows where doing God knows what, but actually we have some idea. But look, Thomas Markle Jr. has gone a lot further. This is the first time he's spoken out in quite a long time, because he had moved away from talking about Meghan. But I guess the sort of insanity of being trapped on the 19th floor of a high-rise building with his dad in the Philippines just made him snap today. And he did explain, P. Dana, why his sister cannot claim this humanitarian award.
Is there a phone call? Is there a text? Samantha Markle says no, and she's furious. In her telling, years of stress, public feuds, and silence pushed their father to seek quiet abroad, only to land him in danger now. Her plea is blunt. Meghan has access, money, clout, use it, get consular support on the line up medical evacuation, coordinate a stairwell assist, do something.
I've taken down all that crap that has to do with the duck and dick Montecito, but I came to the realization that they take up more of my mental energy focusing on the two biggest dirt bags that I've ever come across. And they're my family members, you know? They take up more of my time and more of my energy, and it's just not even worth it to even think about them anymore. So been revamping and just going in the direction I was talking about going in before, as far as like doing a completely different show, which is I'm just so happy about. I feel so much better, you know. But now, today, especially with yesterday's events, I can't hold back. You guys know me. I just can't hold back. Humanitarian award, another bought and paid for award by the worst humanitarian who could be walking the planet. I mean, yeah, I could buy myself any award, I guess, you know, if I had charity money falling out of my...
And Thomas Markle Jr. then confirmed that there had been no phone call or text message at all from Meghan, who he describes as a useless piece of who is never going to change.
The ruthless paparazzi, the shitbag who bragged about derailing the royal family wedding. I mean, come on. So if that's all you have, Meghan, wow. I mean, I kind of get it. I know why Samantha's really pissed off. I get it too. I've been pissed off for years for what she did to my dad. But here again on this day, the day after the earthquake, is there a phone call? Is there a text? No, there's not. And I'm not going to be the guy who just sits here and just, you know, makes his whole YouTube show about ranting and raving about a worthless piece of shit walking the planet who claims that she's God's gift to the world. I'm not going to do that anymore. I have better things to do with my time, way more material and locations where I want to go and just, you know, show everybody, you know, it's just like, just leave all that shit behind. It's just like, who cares anymore? Meghan's never going to change. Dad knows that. I know that. Everybody knows that. You know, if there's one walking the planet right now, it's Meghan Markle, who just makes an ass out of herself every time she opens up her mouth. That's not my doing. That's all her doing. And I'm going to let that be, because I'm better than that. Dad's better than that. And
P. Dinah, is he right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think he's right when he says that, you know, she is the one that makes herself look like a complete jerk, and everything that she does is just going to keep failing. She's made her life the way she has because of the kind of person that she is, and her actions speak for themselves. So yeah, I think moving on, you know, trying to just have the best kind of quality of life, you know, for yourself and for your dad is probably the best thing to do right now. Meghan is never going to change. And I think the best thing that we can do right now is to just, you know, for us, just to keep exposing Meghan for who she is. I think she's also just probably embarrassed about her whole life. I think she is an embarrassment. She is going to always be that person that the world looks to as a disgrace. Really, she really is someone that is never going to rise to the visions in her head. And what can she do at this point? You know, she is at the very bottom of everything. And I think the only thing that she can do in this moment now is to try to help make herself feel better by getting some award that they've paid for, because what else does she have? Hollywood has deserted her. The numbers don't lie around her Netflix show. Victoria Beckham's show is going to be so much better. That's going to be like another thing in her face to make her feel like a failure. You know, Meghan is just, at the end of the day, she has lost and will continue to lose. And the best thing the Markles can do is to just move on. We have their back. The rest of the world has their back. Meghan doesn't, because that's the kind of person she is. She herself is the loser in all of this.
Yeah, indeed. And look, I guess if you compare the differences between the siblings, and look, they get on very well, right? Samantha and Thomas Markle Jr., they have some differences, of course. And I think Samantha is really struggling in Florida because, of course, she's not with her father and she's absolutely imagining the worst. And she's thinking, holy crap, this building's going to collapse. That's her fear, and dad can't get out. Thomas Markle Jr., he's more angry, and he did use the opportunity of his return to really start throwing some actual shade, describing Meghan Markle as the laughing stock of the world.
Thomas Jr. says he's there with their dad and a friend. They can't get out. They do not trust the lifts, and they're weighing a manual descent only when it's safe. He repeats the same line: no call, no text. That's their side, on camera, raw and angry, while they wait for responders and building management to give the all clear.
Stock of the world, because everybody knows that you have to buy yourself an award, barge people's events, and just continually make an ass out of yourself because everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows what you're about. So, Meghan, I'm sure you're really, really used to having shapes like this in your mouth, maybe even from boat trips and stuff like this. But here's your humanitarian award, Meghan. Okay? See, I'm nice. Everybody can be nice. And
yes, he went there. He went there on the yachts. Oh my God, he's incorrigible. Then this is very interesting. So, do you remember there's this paparazzi, Carl Larson, who has been a thorn in the side of the Markles for some time? At one point, he launched a podcast with Thomas Markle, but this dude is not to be trusted, okay? Now, Thomas Markle Jr. claims that Carl Larson was actually sent to the Philippines by Meghan Markle, who she describes as the Witch of Montecito. Watch.
The last time that bag Carl Larson came out here and totally just lied to my dad and took compromising pictures because that's all he wanted. And he was probably sent by, the Duchess douchebag herself to come out and take compromising pictures. That's all he cared about. So he lied to my father for weeks on the phone, even telling him that he wasn't even here yet, but he was here, right? So, yeah, Carl Larson. Yeah, everybody knows Carl. Everybody knows my past story about Carl. There's other videos about Carl Larson. But to come here and just harass my father like that is just, sent by the Witch of Montecito herself. Obviously, they all work together.
Pete Diner, I mean, there's been suspicions about this for a long time. What do you make of it?
Well, I think that seems like something Meghan would do. I mean, I believe she had a hand in the sabotage of Mr. Markle with the photos in the beginning before the wedding. And Meghan, I think, is that kind of a conniving person to do something like this. And I think she's doing things as we speak against Harry. What else does she have? This is something that Meghan, I think, needs to do to help herself feel better. And you can't trust her. She is to not be trusted in anything. And it would be like her to try to do things to besmirch her family. And that just speaks to the nastiness of this woman and what she's all about. That's what she does. So, it's just horrible, what Meghan is all about, what she has done to families, to the royal family. And I think anything that happens moving forward with Harry, for that matter, it can only happen when Meghan is no longer a part of the picture with Harry, because now it's bleeding over into Harry, his life, his family. And she's like a poison, and she cannot be trusted. Even if she's still with Harry and Harry's trying to do certain things with his family, as long as Meghan is around, it's going to be a very bad thing for the family. That's just because of her behavior. That's what she does.
Dinah, he wasn't done there, though. He wasn't done there. Thomas Markle Jr. then went on to claim, and again, there have been suspicions about this for a long time, that Meghan Markle is now posting negative stories about herself for attention and sympathy. Watch this.
Meghan Markle, I swear to God, you post negative things about yourself. I know you do. I know you do. I've looked at the origin. I've looked at the places where your ads come from. I've looked at yours. I've looked at all the, and believe me, I know it's gotta be 100% true. You post you have probably 15, 20 different sites, not on YouTube, right? But you have, well, possibly on YouTube also, but you have quite a few. You have your personal, probably 10 sites, 10 pages that you personally have yourself, probably more than 10, but guaranteed you probably have 10 or 15 other ones that you pay for, and you pay people to post on negative things about you for sympathy, the poor me victim card. And it's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And it's so obvious because nobody gives a rat's ass about you. Nobody in the world thinks about you, right? You create all this drama yourself, just like I said in the very beginning with that famous letter that I actually have the original copy on. It's so true. So wallow in your glory, wallow in your life.
Well, look, P. Diner, we certainly know when it comes to the most recent example of these leaks in regards to Prince Harry's meeting with King Charles, Meghan was completely involved in that, then completely involved in drafting the statement. I mean, she always is looking for this drama.
Well, that's what she did in the beginning with the royal family. She was sabotaging relationships in the very beginning because she wanted to leave the royal family. So that's what she does. She tries to make herself the victim so that she has an excuse to react on this victimhood, to give herself an upper hand because, you know, she wants people to say, look at how people are treating me. You know, that's exactly what Meghan does. So good for Thomas for, you know, calling that out and seeing what she does. I think she has a lot of things that she does on social media that she is behind because she wants to keep that narrative going, that she is the victim. She's the ones that people are bullying. And, you know, Meghan is just going to keep doing things to sabotage herself. And that's just how her life is going to always be. She'll never get around it because she's just not a nice person. And the more people figure that out and understand it, the better. Because she does have her supporters, but we know they're slowly starting to, you know, fall off as well. So good luck with that, Meghan. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck indeed. Thomas Markle Jr. says he also knows, P. Diner, what people really say about her in Montecito.
As headlines tout an upcoming Humanitarian of the Year honor, the family insists there's been no outreach from Meghan to them. Whether she's calling privately or not, there's been no public sign, and the contrast is brutal. A celebrated humanitarian against a father stranded 19 floors up the day after a deadly quake. Critics say this is the moment to prove compassion with action, not press releases.
The only ones who would want to be with you or photograph with you or just, you know, they have no idea. Maybe they have their heads under a rock. Who knows? But from what I've heard from people that I know where you live, Meghan, what people say about you behind your back, oh, God. Yeah, because they know. Because it's people like me who tell them. So, and I'm so happy about that, by the way. So you just enjoy your little fake paid for humanitarian award.
And he was also absolutely scathing about what he described as her attempts to squirm back into the royal family.
And then trying to squirm your way back into the royal family, sending Harry to do your dirty work and talk for you. All, of course, allegedly, in my opinion. But how embarrassing. Because that door is closed, obviously. I mean, the door is closed. So you have fun with that.
And this is what's so interesting, P. Diner, right? There is a real sense of desperation emerging around Meghan at the moment, because it's like she's being cut out everywhere. You know, I mean, of course she's cut out in the UK and the royal family, but she's also cut out in Montecito too, because people have learned about the real Meghan. They don't want to embrace her.
I think it's really funny how she probably thinks that she's doing all these things to, undermine, certain things around her victimhood, trying to make people think she's the victim. But little does she know, like what Thomas is saying, that they are speaking about her, and people are so done with Meghan. They know the kind of person Meghan is, and they want nothing to do with her. And all this planning and plotting and everything, little does she know, it is never going to yield anything for her, any results of popularity or to get the kind of deals that she wants, because people are speaking about her behind the scenes. And she is the big joke. She is the one that is the laughing stock of the town there. And it's so funny to watch her try to make all these ways of, getting this deal or doing certain things with, brands that she continues to try to do, but like nothing is happening. It's been years, and she hasn't been able to really have anything that is going to bring her success. I mean, when Netflix gave her an opportunity, look what she did with that. She failed with it. So, Meghan we're just waiting for the bombshell divorce to happen, when the real drama will happen, because I'm telling you right now, it's like a reality show with Meghan. Okay, let's go to the next chapter. Let's just see how Harry can get back to his family without Meghan, because that is the only reasonable step that needs to happen right now, because Meghan's still with Harry back with the royals. That's never going to happen. It's like, let's just get on with it. Okay. Next act. We're ready.
Meanwhile, Dinah, Prince William has really shown how you can appear in a major American TV special, this new series for Apple TV with Eugene Levy from Schitt's Creek, and promote the royal family, promote Britain, promote your family, give a little bit of yourself. Right? Give a little bit of yourself, let us in a little bit, but do it in a classy and dignified manner. This is the new clip that has been released overnight of him talking about the late Queen Elizabeth II. Watch.
Miss your grandmother?
I do actually, yeah, I do miss my grandmother and my grandfather. Yeah, it's been quite a bit of change. So you do sort of, you think about them not being here anymore.
Yeah.
And particularly being in Windsor, for me, Windsor is her. So she loved it here. She spent most of her time here. Showing you around today is very much the case. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing it the way she'd want you to see it. She had her horses here as well, as you can imagine, was a big deal for her. So that's why she loved it here. 2024 was the hardest year I've ever had. Life is sent to test us as well, and being able to overcome that is what makes us who we are.
That's how you do it, right, P. Dinah?
That's right. We get tests all the time, and being able to overcome that, not trying to cover things up, lie to, have your certain narrative. You're going to be tested. Things are going to happen that you're not going to like. It is how you react in those moments that builds character. And I think this is just, watching William and, the things that he says and how he is able to really promote their work and still show us a little bit of himself. It just really opens them up to, a closer relationship with people that follow it. They're more in touch with him because they can sense his, a little bit of his personality outside of the work that he does. And it's really nice to see, actually, to see him talk about his grandmother and to open up like that, and to just see this really personal side of him. And that's great. And that's what makes the connection for people. And, and it goes completely opposite to what Meghan tries to do. She tries to create a false sense of a connection with people. And she can't just be real and open up and understand, like your family is your family. You know, how you deal with them in a real way is what is more valuable and, appreciated to people, rather than trying to be this fake, phony person to create something that you've thought of in your head. And these are the moments from the royals, from the Prince of Wales, that we need to see. It really builds a strong connection, and it opens them up to I think, certain things that we just need to see. It was really nice to see that.
Yeah, really lovely. Really, really lovely. P. Dinah, thank you so much. And of course,
make the call, tap the U.S. Embassy, and local authorities for a priority welfare check. Secure an evacuation chair and crew. Coordinate with building management for a timed, supervised stair descent when aftershock risk is lowest. Arrange private medical transport at ground level. The family's message is simple. You don't have to reconcile to help. You just have to help. And that's a wrap. If today's scoop had you raising an eyebrow or two, tap that like button to let us know. Got a hot take or inside tea? Drop it in the comments so the whole crew can weigh in. Not part of the fam yet? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the next twist is always one upload away.